Okay. So just looking and waiting for this close. I always found 7:45, like my time, and that's 9:45 New York time. It just booms. Something always happens and the market turns. So in this case, I see two vector candles at a big demand zone. Like clearly retesting the top of this. Clearly, some buyers stepping in. However, again, some major divergence. It'd be nice to see one more test up here towards this trend line before showing some weakness and then rejecting. But I went ahead and like basically locked in profit by here's my short on this candle, and yeah, fucking great entry. And now I'm long. Now, reason I'm long is because I'm waiting to see what happens here. And essentially, when this short loses money, this long makes money in commensurate amount because they're both positioned this equally in size. And so that's hedging. Now, really what that is kind of like putting in a stop loss or taking profit in this case. So it's like, on one level, the reason I'm doing it though is because if this continues long and then really shows me that hey, it's a long, man, play the long, then hey, guess what? I'm in a great position for a long. And I don't have to feel all the pain of leaving money on the table and da 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 da. Now, if it's kind of just what I call fuck the dealer, where it's a fake out, like, oh, we're going long again, and then it snaps back down, then I can close that position, maintain my short position, and then ideally ride it to the downside. Now, when not calm and equalized, this is not the best move, but since I'm watching Bitcoin essentially do the same thing and Sol mirror it exactly, so Bitcoin's doing the same thing right out of the open, right out of a demand zone on top of the CPR, is somewhat of a retest here, showing some great strength, and Bitcoin never had a pullback. So I'm going to add to my positions here as well and just open one Bitcoin, open, I guess 2 Bitcoins is what I'm doing. It's just sometimes I like to take a little more risk, and on this account I'm up on it. So guess what? I'm taking a little more risk. Plus, I'm basically going to take my USD CAD trades here, and what I'm going to do with them is I'm going to use this profit 500 688. So let's say I'm like $1,500 in profit, and that's going to be part of my risk tolerance, which does mean, of course, that USD CAD doesn't have some crazy volatility. So now I'm going to go back and do my things. Just the way I do this is I didn't do it on camera, but I'm always aware of what the heck the numbers are saying. So now we had some unemployment rate, employment change, good and bad. It's a little confusing, good and bad. For USD CAD, so for the Canadian dollar specifically. Now I like in this move a lot, especially if it can cross over this 50 with strength, close above these CPRs. I'm closing that short, maintaining the long, and again locking in profit. This is a very non-aggressive way for me to trade. Again, me taking the profit, then going into the long, then maybe closing that long if I saw some weakness, getting back into a short. That to me is aggressive because it is a fuck ton of decisions, y'all. That's a ton of decisions. And so this is why I don't scalp, because I trust myself to make 3 good decisions in a day when I'm trading. 3 good decisions. That's my goal, is to make 3 good decisions on managing my trade, moving my stop loss. And so in this case, my decision ability is probably capped, right? It's probably capped. See, I'm looking for things. I'm like, okay, I can see how on the 15-minute time frame, which is low time frame, this could be a nice bounce region, but it's still fighting 3 hits of bearish divergence. However, with the nature of the crypto market right now, I could easily see some big ass volatility spike right above here and not quite closing above this big area. So basically 168. 168 would be like where that volatility spike would have to close for me to be like, oh, that's this. Yeah, that's this move. That's this move. Big move. Come back a little bit and then continue upwards. So remember, yep, there you go. Well, we don't know. We don't know yet what this is, but plus Bitcoin dominance. All right. So that's all I'm saying. But I always like to check news and then let that news tell me what pairs to stay away from and what pairs to move into potentially. But trading news is tough unless you're positioned accordingly based on technical analysis already, which is all I do. Star Atlas and Immutable X are about the only flow, and that's testnet upgrade. That could be some bullish news. Starknet I've heard of, and really, like, I want to make sure I've heard of them and that I can trade them. Like Axie Infinity is something I can trade. Optimism is something I can trade. Optimism. So some things happening there, and always good to, if you see something going on here, it's worth reading an article about it. And if the article is bullish, sometimes it's good to be bearish. Other times it's good to just stay bullish on it. Halvings are big events, for example, to be bullish on in advance and then bearish on afterwards. All right, that's enough for today. Just checking in. So again, locked in profits. See, it's going to be about 14. It's going to stay right around. It's going to stay right there. See, that's what's interesting, right? This number, that's not going to change. However, I am going to pay some funding fees. So it'd be nice to lock in the long with some profit before maybe recommitting to the short, adding to the short. So, you know what? I'm going to record this just because this could be valuable to somebody. So I'm going to move this back out of the way here and get right back into the charts that matter. Bitcoin is really the only chart that matters right now, you guys. Let's see what the hour is showing. All right, so it's a full hour to close, man. Yeah. And just because this happened does not mean it can't move down, honestly. Trading a very low time frame setup right here. And 7 minutes to close. So I have this on my open trade checklist. And one of the sections, which you will get if you're in part of my mentorship, is like patience meter and your ability to watch a 5-minute candle close or a 15-minute candle close, or a 1-hour candle close, or a 4-hour. The 4-hour is obviously for me, higher time frame stuff, looking for confirmation to add or, ooh. All right, this candle's crazy right here, right? Look at, watching a candle develop is like the greatest test of patience, of being like, I want to enter, but I want to wait for this 15-minute, or in this case, we could just wait right for the 5-minute candle to close. Give it 30 seconds. But if this snaps down and closes negative, if this snaps down with a wick, closing my longs and going short, adding to shorts. Very simple. FTD. I'd love to see the FTD come right up to the daily open. Snap out some of this liquidity that's hiding just above these, and then come crashing back down. So if this wick could snap up higher, that'd be great. But I guess, there's probably some UK liquidity in here that it just snatched up, and then not enough to hold the buyers, sellers stepping in, all that stuff you're talking about. But for me, it's just an unfinished auction, right? It's just an unfinished auction. See if it'll finish. See 5 minutes. So here's the cool thing. Right now, we could It's under 5 minutes. Switch over, see what the 5-minute chart does. Big snap down. Yeah, it closed. So some liquidity to maybe creep up into over the next 5 minutes here. And if you're still watching this, like, you're a true trader, right? You actually have a true passion to understand the markets right now, to actually sit here with the patience and say, I'm going to watch this candle and I'm going to watch somebody who understands how to trade it, analyze it. Like, that's valuable as fuck. Valuable. And so again, this move, sometimes it's would be to trap longs. People going long to the upside and then grabs their liquidity, gets them all trapped here. Like, imagine you're long here and then it begins to pull back. Again, remember, I got long a little earlier than that on my live money, and I am completely fine scratching out with $200 trade. $500 even. I'm not worried about it. But so this next 3 minutes is like super critical for me, because again, the 15-minute will finish printing. And if this is the action of today, this is 100% to me a fake out. But it's moving up. Here we go. Give it time. Post a Telegram group here. Where's that Telegram? Fuck. So just so y'all know, I take live trades. When I take live trades, I post them in a Telegram group. I don't have anybody else in that group at the moment. I just do this because I want to get into the repetitions of it, so that when I do have people that want to follow my trades, they can do that. All right, see, really, this feels like a strong finish to this. To this candle. But I want to see what the 5-minute, because what this could be is a snap down and then just crawling back up to eat this liquidity before we leave this part of the market behind. This is what I mean by a finished auction, right? So buyers, some of the buyers got left out. So it comes back, right, to fill those orders. That's a market maker move. Come back in here to fill these orders. But then it came back so quickly that it left some sellers behind, right? So maybe some big sellers stepped in here. And so now it's creeping back up to make sure that those sell orders get filled before it continues downwards. It's trying to find a harmony. And I love to think of the market that way, is like, how can this market find harmony? So again, go into a 4-hour. This is, and look at the daily, by the way. Like, look at this. This is ridiculous. This is a huge daily candle, 15%. I don't care that it's not a vector candle. It doesn't show like a inordinate amount of transactions. There's liquidity down here. And there's liquidity down there. on the 4 hour and on the 1 hour. Now, will we come for that? This bull run? I don't know. But I do think we're going to come right back down here. 54. Also, by the way, this pattern has been playing out a lot. Right into the open, to the upside. Tokyo Open, upside. I'll show you where it happened back here. Right here. Right at a test level. Little cord of wood, railroad tracks at the low of the week. So at the low, LOW, cow at the low. Boom, 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 boom. Beautiful upside trade, right? Could ride that fucker for days. 1, 2, looks like about, no, this is Saturday. Yeah, this was Saturday. So that would have been 3 days. So Wednesday trade, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I got a fucking week. Where is it? Oh, I love that cool little. Here we go. So yeah, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I was short here. Watched the volatility come up here. Had to wait for it to come back down. Closed in here. It's just like Jesus. Okay, let's go back here. Let's go back to current present day. Oop, printed. Not looking great. Printed, close, and now it's already coming back down. Cool. I'm closing longs. I don't like this action. Very well could continue the upside, but I'm good. Too much in there. And boom. Going to my soul, closing at $97. Probably paid some funding fees that did not give me any. Oh, okay. I still made $74 right there. I mean, I didn't lose money. That's not making money. It's not losing money. And again, hey, that's all I see. That was my patience game, and it could continue to the upside, right? That's very, very likely, honestly. It's very likely. It's just as likely as I think it continuing to the downside, maybe coming in to sweep liquidity, test 58.9, because right now it's trying to hold 60, and to me, it did not get high above enough to, I got to stop talking, right? Now we're getting too far into speculation. I've made my analysis. I've made my moves in this market, and it is time for me to exit. Look at that, 40 minutes. We're not going to sit here for 40 minutes on this stream, wondering what's going to happen next. Not going to do it. But, yeah. Could be convincing indeed.